Okay, we are live and on camera. Let me let the Discord crew know. This is a surprise stream, by the way. And I have music. I still have the old mix of music, but we're going to try some synthwave music today. Just to break the monotony of listening to that jazzy stuff. Okay, let's see. Oops, I can't tell what volume this is at, actually. That should be it. Okay. If a song gets too distracting, I have it relatively low volume, but if it gets too distracting, just let me know. And first of all, I'll remove it. I'll know to remove it the next time I play. Let's see. Okay. Discord. There we go. Yeah, so Wednesday night here on the West Coast, and what is it, December the 10th. Quiet night in Seattle. And I've just been doing AI vibe coding all day, combined with some writing and making some slide decks, thinking about the name for my new channel, which is going to be focused on communication. Last week I thought it was going to be called 7-Bit Words, but I think I'm going to actually leave the 7 part. And what I'm considering now, hey Fluff Dude, good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. So right now my leading contender for the new channel name, which is again not about drawing tablets, is Words, Data, and Design. Words, Data, Design. Don't know if there's going to be an and. Words, Data, and Design. Words, Data, Design. Not sure yet. Okay, so we will just cover... Okay, so as I was going through that, I was looking through my inventory of tablets that I had bought. Fluff Dude, okay, good question, which is, what monitor arms would be good for big drawing tablets? There's two. First of all, let me send you a link. I have a page for everything, and I have one for monitor arms as well. Now, I can tell you, it lists many options, but I'll tell you about the two I used. So give me a second, and I will paste it in there, okay? Paste. Okay. You should have a link there. So, of the monitor arms that I personally used, there's things that mount to the desk, and there's things that sit on the desk. The ones that mount to the desk are like the Ergotron HX and LX. HX is designed for pretty heavy things, so it'll work well. LX can't handle the same weight, but it's still designed for somewhat large things. I've had a 22-inch display on it, pen display. And if you want one that's sitting on your desk with an arm, the Vivo, what is it? And I have a link there. I forgot the actual model number. It's actually Stand-V100R. So check those two out. I have links to other stands as well and arms. Some people like North Bayou. I've never used it, but they seem like pretty sturdy. But it's a good question to ask, like what's suitable for a large monitor or a large pen display. And that document also talks about some topics you'll need to face, like how much wobble can you really expect? And there is, in any monitor arm, there is some wobble. There are ways to mitigate that. Okay, so anyway, I was working on various things, and I was going through my inventory of drawing tablets, and I realized there's two tablets I've owned for, I think, a year now. Maybe one of them I purchased like in November or something of 2023, so it's been 2 years. And I've never used them. They're not literally not even unboxed. And I thought maybe I should finally use them, because it's going to let me talk about a few topics that I want to stress. And first of all, the brand I'm going to be looking at is a UGEE. UGEE. I'm trying to make a setup where the clamp is at the back of my desk or wall and the arm extends downwards. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not sure about the downwards part, to be honest. You may need to look in some specialty things, because like these all are designed to lift something up from the desk, right? I mean, some of them can get the bottom of the tablet to the desktop, but I'm not sure they'll exactly fit your circumstance. So you may also need to check around with maybe some different subreddits. But hopefully at least the document I sent will give you some ideas. Okay, and it's UGEE. Now let me just make sure everyone knows. I normally talk about Wacom, Huion, XP Pen, and Sense Labs. Of those, Sense Labs is not a big brand. Really, it's Wacom, Huion, and XP Pen. And one of the things I've always stressed with anybody I talk to about drawing tablets is you have to get a tablet that other people are getting. You have to get a tablet brand that other people have. Because if you don't, then you won't get the help you need. And what I mean by that is the numbers I have from my previous job indicate that, let's just say, half the time you have a question or a problem with your device or whatever it is. Instead of half the time, people get their help from other people, not from customer support. So what that means is the community and how big it is important. Okay? That's part one, because you're going to need their help. Number two is how responsive customer support is. Okay? And there's some customer support means everything from documentation, are driver updates coming, can you buy the accessories, extra nibs, do they have places to buy them? Can you find them online? For all those reasons, of the four brands I mentioned, I tend to talk about Wacom, Huion, and XP Pen because so many people have those brands. I talk about Sense Labs sometimes because they try to focus on good customer support, even though not many people have a Sense Labs tablet. Now, UGEE is really interesting. UGEE is an interesting case because remember, a company called Hanbon UGEE has three brands underneath it. One is XP Pen, one is UGEE, and one is Sense Labs. So it's always been a little curious that I don't really talk about UGEE tablets. But I thought I'd break that and talk about them today. But I did want to give you that preface about why I don't normally talk about them. So when I'm showing you this, I'm doing it partly of my own discovery. I still will not push people to get a UGEE tablet. It's not because there's anything bad with the tablet. I don't know. I've never used one. The issue is, will there be enough customer support? Is there a large enough community? And I'll show you an example. Give me a second. Actually, let me do a few things just to prepare for the stream. And then we'll take care of this. Just gonna clean things up. Delete. Up. 1 second. We're almost there. Okay, that's good. Great, I think we're set. Okay, so let's turn this on. And let me just double check the Discord. And of course, if people have questions, we will answer them typically people are having shopping questions right now. Okay, let me get the show notes going. We'll talk about certain topics. Add page. I don't know why that OneNote, I always seem to get the pages created in the middle of the list. What is today's date? 25, 12, 10, which is TNC tablets and chill. And we'll talk about UGEE, news, and Q&A, as always. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to take a look at UGEE tablets. News, a little bit of news. I bought a new mini PC. And let me show it to you. It is a Minus Forum mini PC. It's a high-end one. I'm going to tell you why I got it. Where is it? It's actually this one, but yeah, here we go. MS02 Ultra. MS02 Ultra. Let's write that down. PC. Minus Forum. MS02 Ultra. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending everyone go out and buy this. I'll tell you why I got this. It is, so I got the Ultra model with, where's the option here? 192 gigabytes of ECC RAM. ECC stands for like error correcting something, I believe, and a 2 terabyte SSD. So that cost me basically, with tax, a little bit over $3,000. And I got it because I wanted something with a little more power. It will actually make doing certain things with my tablets easier because it just has more USB 4 ports, which are very useful when I'm doing tablets or switching between tablets. 4 simultaneous displays, which is very important. It's a little bit bigger than the mini PCs I have, but it's okay. It's much smaller than the tower I have, which is huge and heavy. So there's a little bit of portability here as well for me. And the other thing is that, to be fair, I'm not really a big gamer, but I wanted to get this so that if I did game, I wouldn't feel like I was, the machine was struggling. And this is a machine that I wanted to get also because these RAM prices are really going up. And I think if I waited longer, it would cost much more. And this is supposed to hold me over in the Windows world until I think the next generation of machines that I'm really looking forward to is these ARM-based Windows machines, which ARM is not there yet for Windows in terms of what I need. There's still a degree of, not unreliability, but compatibility issues with certain software and devices. So it's not the right time for me to try to get some kind of ARM laptop. I have one already, Surface Pro 11, I believe, or a Surface Laptop 7, rather. So this is going to tide me over for a couple years. That's the intention, okay? I think this is going to end up being my primary work PC. I might not even draw on this, actually. This may be for me creating my videos and PowerPoints and doing a little bit more media-heavy things with a little bit of gaming. Hi, Daniel Steger. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining our stream. So I don't know when this is going to arrive. I'm assuming this is going to arrive in 2 weeks. So hopefully just before Christmas. I will do a live stream about it, and we'll see what it works like. We'll see, right? I'm super excited. This will be the most powerful, at least in terms of RAM. It'll be the computer with the most RAM I've ever had. The most, not quite the most storage, because I've had some with multiple terabyte SSDs. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. Oh, I need to get also a, what do you call it? A low profile graphics card, a GPU. So something like a RTX 50, was it 70? I can't remember what we're up to. So yeah, that's my news. And yeah, we'll do a stream talking about it. Again, I think this will be for content creation. It may be my demo computer for these sessions. because of the USB 4 ports, it makes certain things easier to do. Okay, so that was one bit of news. The other bit of news is, oh yeah, Wacom Moving Pad Pro 14 cover. So I wanted to share. Oh, let me show you this. Hang on a second. I gotta get some photos here. So the Moving Pad Pro 14 cover cost $60. Yes, Nick. Yes, Nick. I am still waiting for the big juicy Huion. I got just yesterday or the day before the email from Huion saying it shipped. Typically, when Huion says they give me the email that says it shipped, it's 7 days. So I'm guessing I'll get it next Monday or Tuesday. And of course, I will live stream the unboxing and testing as I always do. But yeah, I'm very excited. So everyone who knows what I'm talking about, I got the Huion Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. Okay, back to this Moving Pad Pro 14 cover. It's $60. It's not super expensive, but you'll see my issue here in a second. First of all, it's not securely, it doesn't hold on securely to the tablet. Number two, it's just basically, the cover is like some sort of cloth, some rigid thing that's cloth, and it feels cheap, to be quite honest, even though it costs $60. And this past week I discovered something which I'm trying to show it to you. Hang on. I was very disappointed. Give me a second. We'll get there. It's in the Discord, so while I'm waiting for my LAN to... I can scroll back in the Discord maybe and find it. Scrolling, still can't find it. Okay, maybe I can get it now. Wacom. That's not it. Yeah, here it is. So I had my I was drawing with it in bed, and I went to sleep. I turned down the lights in my room, and you're gonna see something in a second. And I noticed something because the room I sleep in is pretty dark when I turn off the lights. It's in a very shaded area, and well, you just got to see it for yourself. I noticed some light hitting my eyes in a very dark room. And do you see this? So I'm going to zoom in. This pattern you see is the cloth of the cover. And what you're seeing is the screen is on. This is the Moving Pad Pro 14 cover on the Moving Pad Pro 14. 0846, this is the time. I took this photo at 8:46 p.m. Okay, so this is the lock screen. This is at 100% brightness. Now, cameras adjust for brightness, but let me assure you, this is a relatively accurate representation of what your eyes see. Okay, like probably this even makes it look like it's not as bright as it is. So the light's coming right through that cover. And then that's at 100% brightness. What about 50% brightness? I mean, surely. Well, it's a little bit less. Again, the camera's adjusting, but you can still clearly make out the time. Now, you can't read text through it, but this is disappointing because it just shows you the cheapness of the material. And number two, if you I have my iPad, and when you put the cover close, you don't even have to touch the screen. It'll turn off the screen. And here, it won't turn off the screen. Now, of course, the moving pad itself, when you're not using it, it'll turn off the screen eventually, in a minute or so, but that's not the point. it just removes a little bit of elegance about the behavior of the tablet if you see this. And I just wanted to say, like, for $60, I think I do expect better, to be quite honest. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, let's get back to my show notes. Let's move this, okay. Is a little bit of Wacom history. Okay, so some of you know I try to keep track of all the tablets that Wacom ships. Now, some models I don't know about because they're like Japan only models. And however, we found some resources today, and I'm going to see if I can show them to you. Hopefully this one works. Is this it? No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, there's a page on their site which is in Japanese, but it's been translated and saved here. So this is actually pretty cool. They actually have this timeline. I think they published this around their 40th year anniversary. It only goes to 2022, but it lets you see a bunch of tablets that you'd probably never normally hear of, like the WT series. Again, showing you how long Wacom's been in the industry. I believe 1983 is when Wacom was formed. The reason things aren't translated to English here is this is a picture, so of course it did not get translated. Is this the Moving Pad Pro? Yes, it is. It's OLED. If it's black, it should be pitch black, unless they... So, I mean, the black is black, but remember, the screen is on, right? So it is showing the lock screen. So I don't think it's the OLED issue. I think it's just that the screen, the cover is, it just transmits too much light through it, right? If I turn it off normally, yeah, nothing comes through. It is pitch black. It's weird that the cover lets light through. You won't notice it in like this lighting situation I'm in now, or in daylight, but certainly in a pitch black room or a room that's very dark, you will notice it. You know, functionally a minor irritation, but it just goes to show you the level of quality of that cover. So there's a bunch of stuff here which even surprised me, right? Like this pen top. I totally forgot they had this. Or sorry, not forgot. I didn't know they had this, right? So this is useful. This is very useful. And it gives me a sense of, you know, I can kind of triangulate which models I had and when they were available. So it's very nice. Arch, hey, Arch, nice. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you here. Kind of weird how the bezels were more modern in the 80s than 90s is super mega bezel mode. That is true. That is true. By the way, look at these colors. This is, and again, a model I'd not heard of, or at least not this brand. So I think we had these, I think we had some variant of this in the US, but in Japan, it was the Wacom Favo, something, right? I got my first Wacom tablet in this era. It was I think it was an ArtPad 2, right? Or an ArtPad, one of these two it was. And I either got it in 1995 or 1996. In my memory, I had it in 1995. Nick says, Wacom history does not include dinosaurs and cave painting. I know. Hi, Pleasing. Thanks for joining us. So, stage 2. Again, Favo, I didn't know this existed. Look at this. The Wacom Smart Scroll. Intuos 2 is one of my favorite tablets, by the way. I didn't know they had Cintiqs in 2002. Okay. Daniel, I'm not planning on making a video about that, more or less because I just don't need any more 16-inch tablets, honestly. But I think if you watch Tio on Tech's video about it, then you'll find that, you know, he rates it pretty good. Like we did a tiering stream, a tablet tier stream, and he said it was in the A tier, not the S tier, but the A tier. So I'd say go to Tio on Tech on his channel, and if you have trouble finding it, let me know. I'll just paste the link there. Do I know which was the first Wacom tablet with pen pressure? Well, it was. Let's work backwards. Obviously, this one had pressure for sure, and definitely the ArtPad 2 had pressure. The UD series had pressure. This is the. I think this is. I can't remember if this is in 201 or something. I can't remember. But this had pressure. The SD series, I believe, had pressure. I think it could be this. And the WT series, I don't know. And I have to ask. I'd have to ask Cube. So at the very least, we're tracking it down to at least 1990. Okay. Now the SD series, which I mentioned, I have an SD series tablet. But it was. How can I say it? Wacom somewhere in their. How can I say this phrase? In one of their documents, they mentioned that the SD series is actually the basis. This is for all their modern Wacom tablets. So really, everything after the SD, everything is based on the SD series. Okay. So the UD series, etc., just based on this tech. Hi, Laws Bread Art. Thanks for joining us. So this is probably the first one with pressure, is my thinking, and that's how all the modern ones work. Let's see, we were at stage in 2002. Again, it's surprising to see this Wacom Favo. Had no idea. We're going to see a few surprises here, by the way. Yeah, Archie, I think you're right. I think the original ones, at least the ArtPad 2, I think it did have 256 pressure levels. So in 203, which is some people still love the Intuos 3, by the way. Unmatched aesthetics. I had the Cintiq 21UX, by the way. I paid, I think, $2,500 for it in 2005. And, hey, maybe I didn't get it exactly in 2005, maybe a bit later. Didn't like it at all. I literally, I put it on my desk. I have one, and I used it, and immediately I'm like, lots of parallax. I didn't even know parallax existed, number one. It's super heavy, and I saw so much lag. I mean, I think that lag is normal now, but like, I saw a lot of lag. I was so disappointed. Like, my heart was broken. I had spent a lot of money. And I had it on my desk for 15 minutes. I took it off, put it back in the box. I literally just gave it to somebody. I didn't even ask them to pay for it. I said, this is like 2011. I just gave it to somebody. This guy was a designer, and he was like, he was saying it was his dream to have a pen display, and I just said, hey dude, take mine. Just remove it from my presence. DT, it does look cool, doesn't it? Arch, it does look very cool. It looks very modern, which is wild. Now take a look at this. The Wacom this is unparalleled. Look, we're going to try to find a picture of this, okay? We're going to try to find a picture of this Favo, because I want you to see this. A better picture. So Wacom did not give us the Favo, or at least these models, in the United States. I'm trying to find the pink one. Like a good picture of it. Wacom Favo. Let me just type in the word pink. No. Was this it? Yeah, this is it. This is good enough. It's a better picture, it looks like. So it's got that plastic shell look of the Intuos 3, but it's this beautiful pink color, right? And you got a EMR mouse. This has a very Apple look to my eyes. Now, I don't know what these are. These are buttons or rollers. I'm not sure. But again, Wacom's had these models that we just don't get in the US. I'm going to see if I can find this actually on eBay. Okay, let me add that to my notes. Let's find my notes here. I'll call this a follow-up. Find pink Favo on eBay. I gotta have that. Yeah, Pleasing. EMR mouse is, and I have one though I never use it. They dropped them, I think, in after the Intuos 3. So what is an EMR mouse? An EMR mouse. I'm trying to find a pen here. Oh, I don't have a pen, but it is actually, if you take a pen and you take out, like you take the shell off, you're left with some electronics, right? And the real core electronics are only about like 2 inches long. That they're not long at all. Maybe actually they're less. Okay, the inductor coil is much smaller than that, and then you have some circuit board or whatever. They just package that in a mouse, so it's basically a pen inside a mouse. Yeah, you can use it like a normal mouse, but it only works on the tablet. In every other way, it works like a normal mouse. Okay, let's get back to, where was I? Stage 4, 2009. Intuos 4. Look at this. They also had their DJ thing. The Wacom Next Beat, which everyone forgets about. And then it just keeps on going until we get to stage 5. I don't know how they decided on these stages. Okay. Alex, 7 Pens is the legit pen tablet historian. I try to be. Remember, I'm working on a database of all pen tablets or all drawing tablets that I'm going to publish so everyone can see the full history of things. But I got to find a way to store images on it. Right now, it's all just it's just like rows of data. I've showed it to you in my previous stream. Yeah, so I'm going to I'm going to translate this, see what I can get out of this. So it goes all the way to stage 6, which is this is the end of 2022. Wacom Cintiq Pro. So they don't have anything more than this. So that's one thing we found. I forgot who in the Discord found it. There's some other stuff we found. Which one? Let me just double check here. I think Cube shared this one. There's a duplicate here, so let me delete it. This is what I think. This is an official document created by Wacom in France. So this is from 1984 to 2019, and again it lists tons of models and the specific dates that not every Wacom Valido and Valido 2. Never heard of that. Don't even know what that is. The Colorelli Arch. Classic Arch comment. Seeing the next beat was like hearing my sleeper agent activation phrase. I love it. Your Honor, the tools that empower our creativity. Let's see. What else do I see here that I never heard about? Intuos 3D, I don't remember this at all. And then it tells you how the product codes work, right? It sort of divides these up a little bit. So you know that KT means art pad and PTK is this. Now, of course, it includes a few more things. Now it also explains what things like UD mean. UD means ultra digitizer or ultra pad digitizer, right? Depending on where you're seeing it. Let's see. Anything else surprising in here? Again, this is a little bit dated. Megabytes of frame. Nice. Do you use Arch, by the way? Arch? Valido. Okay. What's this say? Exhaustive list of all graphics tablets. Well, we'll see if it's exhaustive, but I love the fact they have photos here. Right? Yeah, I believe I had the ArtPad or ArtPad 2, because I remember I was in university at Vanderbilt back then. So yeah, I'm going to collect all this. I'll put these files on my OneDrive or something. Oh yeah, survey. Okay. Thank you. Before we get too far, let's get the survey. So thank you so much, Meow. We'll get back to this, but Meow has just informed me. Let me find the survey. Yeah. we have a survey. So I'm going to open it up. I'll share the link in chat. Give me a second. Okay, so I'm gonna just summarize what we have written in the Discord. And by the way, as always, if you want to join the Discord, let me paste the Discord link in there. So remember we did the stream, which was the Drawing Tablet Awards. I think I did it on Saturday. So I did have a category for like Viewer's Choice, right, or People's Choice Award. And it's really hard because I want people to vote in the stream, but there was no easy way to do that. And so the idea of the Discord crew was, hey, let's collect it with a form, right? And do it later and come back and talk about it. So this form, which I'm going to find the URL in a second, it's a Google Docs form. Copy link. And I'm going to open it up so you all see it, okay? So I'm going to paste it here. And I'll paste it in chat in a second. So this is all the tablets that were released this year. And it just says provide your rating 1 to 5 stars, okay? For the tablets that you're familiar with. Let me zoom in so it's a little bit easier for you to read. Okay? And so again, these are just the tablets that came out in 2025, okay? So more stars means you like the thing more. And you don't have to fill in anything. You can skip tablets, okay? I think there's just two. Okay, and I guess it's gonna get sent to me. So let's just say let's pick one I really like. I like this one a lot. I like it 4. Okay, and you can clear the selection, and then I'll click Intuos Pro Small. I'm gonna click this as 5. And then let's just see what happens, okay? I'll scroll down. There's a lot of tablets that came out this year. And you can add another tablet. So I would say, let's just make up a FooBar tablet. FooBar Tab Small. And I'll say 5 stars, right? Just like that so we know what to do. And then you can write in whatever. Whatever. We need a replacement for the CTL 472. Maybe that's what you want to share with us. Okay? And then you do next. And then this is the first time we've conducted a survey like this. It'd be great to get feedback. So you can, I'm not sure how to interpret all this, but I guess you'll get pinged if we do more surveys. And then, yeah, if there's something you'd like to change in the survey. So it gets sent, okay, it gets sent to Mihao. Thank you for clarifying. But it's set to verify that you're the okay, I see. That's why it said my name. Got it. So I guess it means you have to like use it's like it's my Google account. That's why it's using that. So you might say something like show pictures of tablets next time, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just submit it. And that's it, right? That's all you gotta do. OSU tablet. Yeah, we got to talk about the OSU tablet. Well, let's see if I can find the OSU tablet. OSU tablet. It's here. And here it is. It's basically $30, but I think people's expectations maybe were getting pretty high. Does everyone know what they're seeing now? Right? Is this the old one or the new one? This looks like the old one. Yeah, this is the old one. Wait a second. Where's the new one? Let me find it in Discord. Hang on. Yeah, here, we'll go to X. Here it is. Here, this is the right one. Sorry. Okay, so here it is. Now, what do you notice? This is just not, well, the old one I guess was a Deco Fun Plussing, but the new one is basically it is a Wacom, a 1x Wacom small CTL 472, but it has this layer on it. Okay, that's it. It says Pro OSU tablet, but it's just the same Wacom CTL 472 that you're used to. There's nothing different about it except they slapped that thing. Now, I don't intend that as a criticism. If you want something that's OSU branded, get it. I might even get one, okay? But I think people saw the word Pro OSU tablet and maybe in their heads they're like, oh, it's going to be a specially designed tablet that works differently, that's more optimized. It's not. None of that's true. Now, there's a comment here I think we should talk about. And I'll just read it. I guess this is, I forgot his name. Dean? Is that his name? Dean? When we initially announced this as a Pro tablet, our goal was to differentiate it from the intro version. However, some people's expectations soared into the realm of fully customized tablet mechanics. And while we'd love to do that, Wacom was not able to adjust the production process specifically for OSU. We're not done working with Wacom though, so we hope that'll change one day. And there we go, right? So if you're into OSU, you want to show your support, get the tablet. Again, I think I will, actually. Yeah, they're very clear on this. It is just the CTL 472. Nick says, it's hard to vote for something you never even touched. Yeah, if you have never touched it, don't vote for it. Just leave it blank. Or Mihao, if you'd like them to vote for it, why don't you tell them? But I do like this little cover, right? So that's the other bit of news, the OSU tablet. And where's my show notes? There we go. So we got the survey going. We got the OSU, the quote, Pro OSU tablet. Really just a skinned 472. Okay. There is an answer, Alex Grant, and I'll just tell it to you right now. It is called Stylus X. This is like a Procreate clone for Windows, okay? So I'm pasting that in if I can. Oops, there we go. Now, I will say, probably it'll work better if you're using a tablet that has touch on it. Okay? Oh, sorry. I misunderstood, Alex. You're looking for something like Procreate on Mac? Is this Mac? No, this is just Windows. I don't know of a Procreate on Mac, actually. Let's just take a quick look. A year or so ago, the CEO of Procreate said they're investigating it, but nothing has happened since then. On Mac. Probably you might want to check out Frago, Adobe. It's not Frago, Fresco. So I'll just write that name down, Alex. Adobe Fresco. I'm not saying it's like Procreate. I mean, it's not a clone, but it's something like it, which is what you're looking for. Okay. And I think Adobe Fresco is free. You just have to like sign in with, you just have to register with Adobe. Okay. And if I learn of anything, so I'll put a follow-up to myself. Follow-up. Oops. Because it's a common question. Follow-up. What is like Procreate for Mac OS. Krita, Krita's a good app. Krita, right? But I wouldn't say it's like Procreate. It's really not optimized for like the way Procreate works, for example. But I will list it down. Wait, they don't have it on Mac? Oh, I didn't know that. That surprises me. I don't know, why wouldn't they do that? Let me just try this. Procreate clone on Mac. Okay, how about apps similar apps? Procreate for Mac. StylusX has a 7-day trial. Yeah, definitely check it out. Again, I think it'll work better if you have a tablet that has touch. Okay? But it should work even without touch. Okay. I use some of these, so I'll talk about the one I use, which is ArtRage. 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 It's a lightweight app. I think you might like it. What was the other one? I don't know if I'd say Affinity Photo Designer. It's not like Fresco. Art Studio Pro, maybe. I don't think I've used it. Okay, let me just see. Hang on, someone's having a... Okay. Yeah, ArtRage is... I love ArtRage, actually. I love ArtRage. I think it's a fantastic app. Though, you know, it's a natural media app, right? But it's very nice. It's very nice. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? We're going to do some UGEE tablet testing. Pleasing, yeah, I got to do that follow-up on Open Canvas. Try Open Canvas. Alex says 50% off for Art Studio Pro on the App Store. Interesting. Let's just take a look at it. Can I get to the Apple App Store? Even from Windows machine? It should work, right? I just can't install anything, obviously. Can you even search this thing? Studio Pro. I'll have to check this one out. Some people swear by it. Okay. So let me show you what I have today. Again, I've had this tablet for I think 2 years. UGEE M908. First of all, I think it's very cute looking. Okay, it's very cute looking. You can see the back. It's available in slightly different colors, like at the edges anyway. So we'll give it a try. I've never used a UGEE tablet before. Okay, that's one of them. And then we have UGEE U16 pen display, right? Not expensive. Let's just take a look at the prices of these. Again, do not take the fact I'm testing them right now as a recommendation. I am just trying it out because some people ask, okay? I normally don't recommend UGEE, not because there's any technical thing wrong. I just don't see there's a lot of... Let me just show you the example. It'll be much easier if I just show you. Okay. So let's suppose you have some kind of question about Wacom. You'll go to r/Wacom, okay? r/Wacom has... Let's do a little bit of zooming here. r/Wacom has 51,000 visitors. Okay? I'm a mod in our Wacom. Okay? Or you go to Huion. Where are we? 23,000 visitors, almost, about half of Wacom. Or you go to XP Pen. Oops, clicked on the wrong. No, I clicked on 23,000. So it's tied with Huion. So they're both, you know, if you add them together, it's the same number as Wacom. Okay? So lots of people have an XP Pen tablet. Okay? Now let's just go ahead and take a look at our UGEE. Now I get it. Reddit may not be the center of the universe, but a lot of people get there for help. So I'm going to make my judgment based on, first of all, how many users, weekly visitors. Take a look at the number. What's the number? 16. Not 16,000. 16. Let's just go ahead and sort by new. How many people post in UGEE? Well, we see somebody's name here. I'm not going to say it out loud. Same name, same name, same name. This is, look at this. This is sorted by new. Last post, 7 months ago. 7 months ago. 7 months ago. 8 months ago. So let me ask you a question. 9 months ago. And these are promotional posts for UGEE. Do you feel like if you had a problem, you think you'd get help from the community here? Probably not. Now, UGEE is probably, I think Tablet Kitten told me it's a much bigger brand in China, right? So to put it in more perspective, if you and everyone around you is using a UGEE in whichever country you're in, then it's probably a safer thing to get. But I can't personally recommend it because I don't have one. I mean, I do have these two, but I just don't see a lot of people with them, right? And I'm unable to help. So by definition, I will not, or per my policy, I won't generally recommend them. But it is unfair that I never look at them, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at it. Let's see, my Meowhouse is not going to lie. Because of the bezel, the pen tablet looks like a kid toy. It does a little bit. That's fair. That's fair. This rounded look does give it a little bit of a softer, like, kid thing going on. That's fair. Okay, let's get a scissors. And let's, oh jeez. Okay. You know what? I should probably turn on my overhead because I think I'm going to need that. Give me a second. Okay, why is it not turning on? Oh, it is on? Okay, so let's see if this is... No, okay, there we go. You can actually see the overhead. Woo! You can see my setup. There we go. And there, okay. So, for now, do I have a different way of showing you this? I guess I'll just show this for a second like this. Okay. So what do we got here? Sorry for all the mess here. Let's unbox. So there it is. I think I should move this a little bit south. There we go. A little bit easier for me as well. Okay. So this is UGEE M908. I think there's an 808, which is sort of a little bit smaller. And you know what? I have learned my lesson. I'm actually going to take photos as I do this because it'll save me time later. So let me just, let's just do it right now. And let's get this keyboard out of the way. So, pardon me as I get my camera out here and just prepare to take a few photos. Otherwise, I have to just repeat all these things later. So, there we go. I think when you get a new tablet, you should absolutely take photos as you unbox it. Even if you're not making a YouTube video, just take the photos, okay? Now, I try to take the entire box, by the way. Just for sort of record keeping, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's get to this. To write, to draw, to the new. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm really digging the slogan, but at least it's there. Okay, so we're back here. And let's open it up. I've learned one thing, to keep more records of what's in boxes. Because honestly, sometimes you're like, oh, what was the, you're looking for a cable, like which cable came with the tablet? What was it packed in? And you just don't know. You can't remember. So this is pretty typical. Oops, let me just, another photo of this. Oh, you can't see it. Gosh. Okay, there we go. So all I did was I just took some photos of the box. I'm sorry. That must have been very confusing for you. All I did was take photos of the front and back. And I just opened it up. Okay? So I'm just going to take a photo of it again. And we are going to let me put this here. We are going to undo this. I hate that these things require me to rip the plastic. Okay. So here we go. Another photo. And let me move the box away. There's a little sticker here, which I'm going to just zoom in. And take a photo of. Okay, and the sticker says, this protective film is used to protect the product exterior. Okay, so this is interesting. So it is impossible with your eyes to detect this, okay? I see people stumble on this all the time. This red tag is indicating there's a film on here, but if you look at it, you'd have a hard time seeing it, okay? It'll feel weird to draw with. So I'm gonna just pull, okay, does everyone see this? Actually, let me take a photo of it on the, just by itself here. I'm gonna pull this off. Well, that's not what I wanted. I was hoping it would pull off the protective thing. Okay, so I'm using my fingernails like an animal. Okay, do you see this? You can even hear a little bit of the cracking of this. So I'm gonna just take a photo of this so everyone sees how thin this is. I was hoping the red thing would actually pull this away. looks like, here we go. It is very easy to pull off. So it's not, this is meant to be taken off, okay? This is relatively uncommon for pen tablets to have a cover like that. But hey, it protects the surface. What am I seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 buttons and some kind of wheel. Not bad. It feels a bit lighter than I'd expect, honestly. It feels a little lighter than I'd expect. Maybe it feels like, but nothing bad. It doesn't feel cheap or anything. A little plasticky, but that's not bad. No, there's no complaint there. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Move this tag out of the way. What do we got here? We've got a warranty card and a pen. And in the warranty card package is the cable. And it has, the cable is like USB A to USB, what the hell? USB-C. So this part goes into the tablet, this goes to your computer. If your computer needs a USB-C port, there's a little adapter there. And then there's the nib remover. And there must be, I think, about 10 nibs. They're all, looks like it's all the same kind of plastic nib. Relatively thick for a modern nib, by the way. And then there's the pen. So I'm not going to use this, because I already have a cable set up for this. Here's the pen. Let me take a good picture, photo of this by itself. Again, I do these things just so that if I ever get a question about what is going on here, I can answer it. Put this back in, take a photo of the pen in its cover. And then let's take this out. Pushing it out. Okay. It's a little bit funky looking buttons. This lighting is not great for taking a photo, I'll tell you that. So I may have to take another photo later. Also, the pen is rolling, but I'll take a photo anyway. And let's see. I just want to get a photo of the buttons. The button just looks like there's a piece of plastic cut out. It does not have a traditional button look at all. It kind of has a shape similar to an S Pen, maybe a bit bigger. It looks almost like there's an eraser here, but that's not an eraser, it's just a piece of plastic. Okay, so we're almost set to use this thing. Let's let me do this. I need to install the UGEE driver. This is going to require a reboot, so we need to get Wacom out of here. No, no thanks. So we're going to have to add, remove, and get Wacom out of the picture. Oh, this is what I want to search for. Wacom tablet. Click uninstall. And it's going to ask me to reboot, which we'll do. Our goal here is just a basic test. Nothing too crazy. Let me close apps since I know I'm going to have to reboot in a second. Now, while we're doing that, I'm going to get to UGEE site. UGEE. We'll reboot in a second. No, we want, well, let's just type in UGEE. UGEE.com. Let me open up a new window for a second. Okay. We want a driver. Where are the drivers? It should be under support. Download. M908. There we go. Manuals. Let's just take a look at the manual. Nothing too crazy. I'm not gonna read it anymore. Drivers. So the latest one is UGEE. This was released on April 11th, 2025. We'll download this. Okay, now it's time to reboot Wacom. And then you get to see me for a bit as it's rebooting. Are you a fan? Is this one of your favorite tablets? Is this your goated tablet? Okay, we're just waiting for the reboot. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. It's going well. Decided to have a surprise stream, cover a little bit of news, do some Q&A, test out some new UGEE tablets, or not new, but I've never used a UGEE tablet before. And the truth is, they are budget. They're budget tablets, and people sometimes get them. So let's see if we can at least feel good about it. Again, the reason I don't recommend them is in the United States, no one has them. And in general, I only recommend tablets that people have. And I hope everyone understands that is deliberate. That is absolutely deliberate. But it is unfair to smaller brands, of course. Okay, it was in downloads, so let's find it. It's a zip file. Extract. UGEE something win. Let's run it. Yeah, go ahead. Make some changes. Let me move some of these away. So please close. Oh gosh, Discord, of course. Yeah. Okay. I do like their logo, by the way. Their logo type. It is kind of cool. I have read the agreement. To write, to draw, to the new. I don't like this English construction here. It's weird. It's a weird way of saying that. To the new. It's just not as something you'd say to. You could say to the old. To the. It is. I just don't think I've ever seen that construction. I've seen the new. Oh, I didn't click on the customize thing. That's fine. I gotta tell you, I do like this scroll bar thing. Restart. Like, it's very colorful setup. Okay, I need another restart. So okay. And while we're doing, gotta wait for the reboot. Getting ahead of myself. One of the things with drawing tablets is it needs time to use them, right? It's hard to formulate an opinion about a drawing tablet in just, a day or an hour or something. You need to use them for a good amount of time. And find out what irritates you or you like or don't like. Okay, still rebooting. The good news will be done with the rebooting after this, because by the next tablet I'm looking at, it's also a UGEE tablet. Okay, come on. Signing in now. And let's try to find... Okay, so it is already installed. Let's bring you back into the mix now. It must be confusing when the background is like this, so I am going to, just for your own sanity, I'm going to change the background color to something so it doesn't look completely strange. Yeah, there we go. Just a gray color. Okay. So it has a shortcut on the desktop, so I'll click on it. Then it says plug in the tablet. How to plug in, connection failed, no signal. Contact us. Of course, no signal cannot happen with this tablet because there's no screen. So no signal message only happens with screen tablets, pen displays. And the port is on the left. Let's see. Okay. And these are the 8 keys. I'm gonna disable them because I just don't like keys. No function. Okay. No function. To me, I just accidentally pressed the keys too much. But at least you know there's 8 functions. I had a UGEE tablet I got years ago. It was a micro USB cable and it worked. The software's trash. I ended up getting a Wacom on point and that. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, all non-Wacom brands, you know, I don't even bother using their tablets earlier than 2021. Yeah, as a kid, had some cheap Chinese tablet. It took me like 5 years to understand it was crap. This does look decent, honestly. I mean, if this was branded Wacom, seriously, if this is branded Wacom, you would sense it's not like a pro tablet, but like nothing would strike you as unusual about it, right? You'd probably think it was cool. No function here. I do like that it's actually kind of it's kind of like very colorful without being, you know, like it's creative without feeling like it's a kid's thing. Roller function means the dial. So it's set to zoom now. I'm going to turn it off. But you can set to zoom, brush size, rotate, and scroll. So let's... I'm going to say no function. Just turn off everything. I guess if you press, you can switch between these things. Close. Okay. So we're good there. No function. Nothing's happening. So we're good. And let's set the work area. So one of the first things you have to do is set the work area. So I want to map to just one. I think my recommendation for everyone is map your pen tablet to exactly one monitor, okay? So, oh my gosh, I hope this is not doing what I think it's gonna do. Okay, I can drag it, yeah, but I want to snap. So this is not what I want. That's, okay. You do it, that's weird. You have to do it in advanced settings, which is a bit weird. Monitor 2, maybe? Okay, monitor 2. They should change this to be more obvious. And then you want to go to screen proportion. Oh, and that's weird. It doesn't, okay, let me just do it for you again. I'm gonna mess it up, okay? So the solid line is the actual physical active area. The dotted line here, rectangle, is the what's to set. So you want, no matter what it is, hit screen proportion, and it'll match these exactly. Ghost Monk says, always liked the other brand features. I think Wacom only had a couple of good button features tablets. I'm not a huge fan of buttons or express keys. Deco Pros. So do you mean Deco Pro Gen 2, Ghost Monk? Because that's a very good tablet. Not quite Intuos Pro, but very good, terrific value. Okay, anything else here? No. No rotation. So it looks like the UI for this driver has been updated since 2023. Now the reason I bring this up is, remember, you want to see them updating things and getting the UI more friendly. By definition, they haven't updated this UI in 2 years. At least the copyright hasn't been updated, so it would lead us to believe that the UI hasn't been updated. Okay, that might not be true, but I'd like them to fix UI issues. Yeah, Nick, I don't care about the colors so much. The thing is, I'm pointing this out, is you want to see that they're actively working on the UI, not just, well, it works, people can accomplish the task. You want them to be refining it, okay? I think the Gen 1. Okay, got it. The Deco Pro Gen 1. The Gen 2 is, Gen 2 is, okay. Setup there, let's take a look at the stylus. So Windows Ink is on, which is good. Tilt is on, which is good. Pen pressure is on, which is good. Mouse mode, keep that off. Top button is pen eraser. Now what I normally do is lower button, I have right click mouse. Top button, I usually have mouse key double click. That's just me and my weirdness, okay? It's left double click, right, okay. There we go. That's how I do it. Okay, so we're good. Pressure settings. You want to make sure this is just a linear thing. And I'm just going to press here, just an initial test to see the pen's working. Now don't worry about those little ripples. You know what? I'm going to say something which is a little shocking. The IAF actually feels pretty good. Another thing, the control at low pressure is pretty good. Meaning, you see where it says the word current pressure? I'm going to see if I can just hang the pressure by every letter. Watch this. C, U, R, R, E, N, T, T, space, P, R, R, E, S. It's easier as you go along. S. That's really hard to do with a lot of pens. So the pressure response is kind of more, it's more linearish than you'd expect. Okay? Yeah, Ghost Monk, it actually does. I'm surprised by how sensitive it is. This actually surprises me in an extremely pleasant way. I would easily draw with this. And the strokes look good. I mean, okay, but this is in the driver. Okay, sure. Let's, you know what we do. We go to Krita first. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised right now. I expected I'd have to press down really hard. Okay, let's create a new picture here. Drawing. Okay, so the first question is, I'm just going to set, I'm going to get to a brush, and we're just going to try pressure, okay? So this brush, which is the, that's a test brush. I want Ink 3G pen, okay? Let's take a look at the settings. So we're going to just It's at the default settings. So we're going to turn off strength here. Go to size, make it linear, okay? And then we're going to make this like 500, okay? So I'm going to try to draw with as little pressure as possible. First of all, let me just move through low and high. And let me make sure the color is good too. Oops. There we go. I picked that with the mouse, so there we go. So. Oh, and there's no smoothing, by the way. Okay, I'm actually kind of happy with that. Again, much better IF than I expected. Remember, I'm not, if the line is going the wrong direction, that's me. What we're trying to see is if there's anything weird in how the pressure. Okay, so I'm happy with it. If I zoom in here, I do see, do you see this? And let me try to show you this. Can you see this? There is something weird here. There is something weird here. There is a little bit of this banding, okay? You see the pulses there? Now, I'll bet you, let me use the selection tool for a second. I'll bet you this happens around the same place. Yeah, that does. That does. That does. This could be a sign of pressure banding problems. So it wasn't visible to me at first. Now remember, this brush is crazy, but it shouldn't do this. We'll investigate pressure banding a little bit later. So I'm not happy with this right now because of this banding issue. Now, it wasn't apparent at higher, well, it is actually apparent right here. Do you see it? This little, that's not me. That is the device. Okay. Let me test a few more things out, then we'll get back to that, the banding issue, okay? But I just want you to let you know there's something regular that's doing something. And I have a special way of investigating that, okay? Deselect. So let us, actually, let me do this again because I want to save that. Where's my, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what. Okay. See, at 5, you'll never notice anything. But when you make it big, which again, this is a tough test. But the reason I set to 500 something, because it acts like a magnifying glass. Yeah, there are some weird transitions in pressure. It happens toward low pressure. Do you see it? Let me zoom in again. Some of the bumpiness is just the way Krita draws, but take a look at these little bumps here. That's, I don't know about this. I think this is potentially something else. But again, we have a specific test to look at this. So let me just save this picture as a UGEE, was it M908? 8908. Pressure thick thin. 500 pix brush. And then we'll see if we can correct this stuff. Then we want to see low pressure noise, okay? Or low pressure artifacts. So this is a huge brush, 500 pixels. I'm drawing with extremely light pressure. Some things get really blobby, but I'm not seeing it. Pressure does cut out a little bit more. That's to be expected when you draw at really light pressure. The blobbiness is there, but it's, you do the small little cutouts here, okay? This is probably It's different when you'd normally expect. In fact, it's slightly better. So let me just write this down. So this is okay. So the low IEF is not quite as low as in 2.0, like a ProPen 2, obviously. But in 2.02, it wouldn't be easy for me to cut out like this. So I don't know what the IEF would be. Let's just say it's 3 gram force. Okay. Could be a bit higher. So I want to say low pressure artifacts. Low pressure artifacts. And there's ways of correcting this. Okay, so we'll talk about it. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of pressure banding. This is a very specific test again. So we go back here. We don't change the size. Okay, let's just test that out. Okay, so we don't change the size. What we do is we map pressure to opacity. Where is that? Yeah. So make sure it's linear. And then what do we do? Let's make the brush a little smaller. We need like a 100 pixel brush. I'll pick almost 300 because this is a big document. Okay, I'm going to draw, or maybe a little smaller. I'm going to draw some lines horizontal, then vertical, okay? I'm trying to keep it low pressure so you can just barely see anything. Now don't worry, you're not going to see anything even if things are good or bad because you just see a bunch of very light gray. That's normal. We have to do a little bit of we have to do a few things to see the issues. Again, this is not where the lines are straight. It's whether there's a weird pattern, which you can't see. Okay, so let's take a look. We want to turn on an effect layer. Do they have those in here? New. I forget. Does it have? I guess I'm gonna duplicate this. And hide this one. And now we're gonna do something to it. Filter. I forgot what it's called actually. Adjustment. Yeah, okay. I think I want, let's try auto contrast. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, Nick. UGEE did not beat the ProPen 2. Didn't see that coming. Let's see. Adjust. Where the heck? Levels, I guess that'll work. Okay, great. Is there a preview to this? Man, I totally forgot how to do this in... I must be crazy here. Okay. Layers palette under plus icon. Okay, let's try that. I'm obviously doing this the wrong way. I don't know why, I just forgot. I literally forgot how to do this. Add filter layer. You're right, okay, here we go. How did I do this before, though? This sucks. Everyone knows what I'm trying to do, right? I am just trying to get... This totally is not what I expected. How did I do this before? Nick is telling me levels will not work. It's transparency. If it's transparency, you need to weld to background, then you can clamp. Okay, so let's do that. Let's merge layer below, which is locked. So now let's add the filter layer. Okay, here we go. Well, this is good. Okay, now I'm having... So I'm really trying to enhance the differences. Okay. So I don't see the pressure. I do see some pressure banding actually. Actually, now I'm not sure. What I should see, if there's pressure banding, is like there should be a region of like in horizontal, like let me just draw it here, or let me use the selection to show you. I should see like things get lighter here consistently, right? Or heavier. I'm not seeing that. There's no regular pattern at all. Or you should see transitions happen in the same place, but I don't see any regular patterns there. So it may not be pressure banding. That's the issue. Maybe something else that's causing those weird ass artifacts. Control E, Control L. Oh, I see. Thank you. Wow, Nick really knows his stuff. Okay, let me save this. Little bit of a mystery there. We'll try other apps as well, by the way. I'm gonna call this one pressure banding. I didn't see a problem. You need to draw a gradient with very low pressure. Next time I'll try that. Okay. I'm gonna try... I need to get a ruler. Give me a second. I'm gonna do wobble testing. One moment. Okay, I am back, and I got my ruler for wobble testing. So let's clear this document. Get the brush back to normal. Turn off strength. Set size to... Don't change size. Oops, turn a pattern in strength. Size is not set at all. And undo that. And clear the document. Delete this layer. Okay. And let's just try, oops, I'm on the wrong tool. Let's get here. Okay. I'm just going to take a look at the stroke to see if anything weird happened. Stroke felt really responsive, by the way. But, see this? I'm getting a little bit of, you see that? That's not me. This looks good at high speeds. We'll take a look. We'll see. Actually, before I do this, I'm just going to draw a slow stroke by hand, okay? I'll just do some curves. It's really slow. Do we see anything unusual? And then I'll speed up. Anything unusual here? I don't think so. Actually, before I go further, let me just make sure I know how Krita is configured. It's using WinTab, okay. That itself could be a problem. That's fine. Let me turn off WinTab. Because normally I do my test with Windows Ink. So I'm going to restart Krita. I don't think that should have affected those other tests, but we will double check anyway. Let me go back here and make sure the settings are as I want them. We want a constant width line right now because we're just testing quality of the stroke. Slow and then fast. Looks fine. You know, if I didn't know better, I swear it looks better on Windows Ink than WinTab. I'm not blaming the tablet. It could just be something else. Anyway, I normally test with Windows Ink, so that's fine. So let's just do our wobble tests. These are always very simple. Some lines at 10 centimeters in physical length at 45 degrees. And let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay. And let's see, that's about 45. Let's see. One more line. Slow stroke. Should take about 4 seconds to get to the edge from the start to the end. And then faster strokes. Should take about 2 seconds. And then about 1 second. I'm not being super precise about the angle. Okay, let's take a look. You see the wobble? Right? It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen, honestly. I did expect worse, Nick. Yeah, you're right. Now that's the question then also is, let's save this. How much smoothing do we need to eliminate diagonal wobble? That is something we need to know. So we're going to turn on basic smoothing, and I'll just do the slow stroke first, just to see what we can discover. So just basic smoothing in Krita is not going to get rid of it. I can still see it. You see? A little bit of it's almost a little irregular more than wobble. It looks like 3 years old, top level. Actually, yeah, this is, you'd expect better in the modern world. Okay? Now, let's turn on weighted. And I'm going to turn off smooth pressure, and we'll start with distance equals 50. Or close to 50, and let's see what happens. Still there. Let's try about 100 something. I think 100 did a great job. There's still just a tiny bit there. It was actually a 90, but that's fine. We'll shift to 200 something, 215. You know, I'm going to redraw that because I just don't know which one got drawn. I drew in the middle of the other two. Okay. That, at 200 level of smoothing, it looks, you can't tell there's any wobble. Right? It's extremely hard to tell. Of course, if it's fixing there at slow, it fixes it fast. So you need about 200 for this to work. So I just wanted to make sure people knew that. I'm going to go ahead and try, though I don't normally do this, I'm going to try the stabilizer. And I'm going to uncheck delay, okay? So delay is unchecked, to see if I can determine anything else about this. Let me turn stabilizer, and then we'll set it down to a low value, like 3. $40. I think stabilizer is pretty similar. I think you're going to have to get it to around 200 to make a difference. Yeah, at 200 for both stabilizer and weighted, it knocks out that. So the drawing experience is kind of like an older gen drawing experience. Not too old, but I would expect better for a modern tablet. This was released in 2003. Let's keep that in mind. Lazy Nezumi. I never tried. How good is it? I've never tried it myself. But I want to as well. Thing is, I'm just so satisfied with what Krita and Clip provide. I never need those things. Okay, let's see if we can examine those pressure issues again. Since I switched to WinTab, I'm going to go here, make this about this big, okay? And then I'm drawing, and we're going to set the opacity. Actually, I'm not, wrong thing. I'm going to set the size to linear, and we're going to make those thin and thick strokes again. Oh, for this I need the stroke to be really big. Let's just say 400 or 350. Sudden jump is fine. That was me, not the tablet. Oh, I've got smoothing on, of course. everything's just like clean. Let me go back to none. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's got a little bit of pressure artifacts. You see the pulsing? It's very typical. The pulsing is not as bad as some tablets, by the way. And then the Pro Pen 2 has much more dramatic pulsing. There's a little artifact I don't think I'm responsible for. Now let's take a look at, we see those little weird things here. You see this transition? I don't think I did that. There's those segments again. Not quite as much as before. Before I was using WinTab. You like Photoshop's smoothing better? Pressure is transitioning maybe a little bit faster than I wanted to. So let me just show you how to fix some of these problems. We go to the brush, and you know what we do? We give it a curve like this. That's part one, okay? We give it a curve. That itself will help the overall issue, okay? Now you see, it does make some, you see those sudden segments appear? You wouldn't want that normally. Right there, you saw that? I wasn't suddenly pressing down. So I think stroke quality is kind of mid. I'm going to say, let's go to weighted smoothing. Turn on smoothing pressure, okay? Now let's try the same exact thing. That's fine, that's fine. I was pressing down really hard all of a sudden. So for this one, to deal with pressure anomalies, and you're going to have to, I think, use pressure curves and some pressure smoothing in your apps, okay? You can get good strokes here. It gives you more range, but the steps are still there. Let's take a look. Remember, part of the steps is in Krita. Like, you see these little bumps here? That's actually, sorry, let me put my mouse pointer. There's some, that's the way Krita is rendering things. Even these bumps are actually the way Krita is rendering things. It's not due to the tablet. So yeah, pressure smoothing plus pressure curves will help. This was not the tablet's fault, that was me. That little bump there. So it is possible to create decent work here. I think you're going to have to use smoothing, both pressure curves and pressure smoothing. And not all apps have pressure smoothing. Let me turn off the weighted here. We'll go back to none. Now what about, let me change the pressure curve back to linear. What about that little, the cutting out, okay? So why do you ever see things cut out, right? That because you're dancing. You saw that right there? You're dancing at the IAF, okay? So I think one way you can avoid this problem is increase the IAF. And how do you do that? By doing this. I'm going to increase it like this, 10%. Let's see if that changes things. Well, it changed things, and you got that low pressure artifact still. I think this is going to need both effects here. music cut out. Hang on. We'll get back to my classics music here. Yeah, I'm not totally happy with the strokes here. Again, I think they're kind of mid. For a tablet that came out in 2023, I'd probably expect a little bit better. There's some things about I do like. Like, the IF does surprise me, at least subjectively. Why is erasing not working here? Oh, I get it. Yeah, there's that pulsing. See it? It definitely happens toward the lower end of pressure, too. You know, I didn't recommend the Wacom 1 medium or the Wacom 1 small that were released in 2023 because of issues like this. And, oh man, that looks so nasty, doesn't it? I don't know. I think it's doing worse than I expect for a tablet. Probably okay if you're not using pressure. When you say calibration, Ghost Monk, what do you mean? Because calibration is a thing that we talk about for pen displays. We're calibrating the screen to the position of the pen. So I'll wait for you to answer that. I could probably use this to create art. I don't think I'd like it. I think I'm not going to tolerate it, but I wouldn't like it. Because I'm just seeing too many things that bother me. I could easily use this though. Like, let's not kid it, because this is a crazy test. You know, no one draws with things like that. People draw with brushes. I mean, when you're doing line art, you're using like a 10 pixel brush, okay? So let me just show you what happens with a 10 pixel brush. Let me type in the word 10 here. Okay, that's 1,000. Oh no, that's 10. With a 10 pixel brush, you're not going to see these weird ass effects. I've got no smoothing on, right? Things look great. So you also have to... Yeah, I think this is fine, honestly. I was testing with a 500 pixel brush. I'd probably give this a mid rating. Like, can you tell? Is there anything here weird to you? Let's zoom in. No, right? Even if I go up to, like, I bet you like 50 for line art. This is for line art. And that's a linear pressure curve too. You're really not going to notice much at all. So this is totally fine. Drawing experience, I would say, is... I do think it's like a mid, meaning C, like C tier. But totally capable. You're only going to notice... Okay, let me back up here. Let me put my face here. One of the problems with doing all this testing is I'm looking for problems. You have to remember that. I'm looking for problems. And so I will find problems because I put the tests through these very difficult... I put the pens through these very difficult tests. I will find things that a normal person will not find because they're not drawing in a way which will bring these things out. Yeah, Ghostmaker, yeah, they don't have calibration for these kind of tablets. So if you were a beginner, I think you'd be fine with this tablet. If you're... And it is doing a better job than I expected, to be quite honest. Yeah. I think this would be a decent tablet. How much is it? Did the brush have spacing or velocity on? Let's take a look. I forgot how it was configured. It was a default setting. So it had spacing was auto. Where is velocity? I don't know. I don't recall doing anything with, or seeing it even. But I'm not totally familiar with Krita's settings, to be completely honest. This is fine. Drawing at speed. No pressure curve. This is fine. This is totally fine. I'm going to do one more test, which is with my tablet tester tool. I'm going to just test tilt. Size 50, scale by, don't scale. Color is from tilt. Altitude first. Let's hit it. Yeah, it looks good. It's smooth. Smooth color transition. Now we'll do color by tilt azimuth. Anything weird here? Nope. Looks fine. Looks fine. Yeah, I'm totally happy with that. The reason I want to test this, I don't normally test this, but because I saw that the XP Pen Magic Drawing Pad had some weird tilt issues, I just want to double check this didn't have anything like that. That may be due to the specific digitizer in the Magic Drawing Pad and Magic Notepad, so it's good to see that's not the problem here. So overall, yeah, I'd put this, let's go to my tier list. Where will I put this? Tier list. Where would I put it? I gotta think about this. To be honest, I'm not sure if I'd put it in B or C. B is like good, and C is like okay. I'd probably put it in C to be safe. Yeah, I think I'd put it in C. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's totally usable. Again, I see problems because I'm testing to find problems. The one thing I've learned about being someone who looks at tablets is, yeah, if you go looking for things, you'll find them. Let me give you an analogy here. If you've ever studied typography, like, fonts, and you learn a little bit about that, or lots of other topics, but I pick on typography because most people don't talk about it. Hi, Hanem. S for stabilizer. I like that. So you go through your life and you don't know anything about typography. And then you take a course or you start reading about typography. And then you start looking at the world with new eyes. You start thinking, oh, that's the wrong font for this. Or you just start recognizing fonts and you realize people are picking the wrong fonts. Like I don't know, I'm making this up. But like you get the idea. They're like, they're picking Arial when they should have been using Helvetica, and you can see the difference. And you start realizing, oh, this font's the wrong choice for this. Or, it's like your mind is now affected by your new sensitivity to things. And so you get, I don't know, I guess you get irritated by seeing things out of out of place and misused, right? And so that's sort of like me with drawing tablets. Since I test them so much, you start getting very jaded. Another analogy I have is I had a friend. It was his birthday one time, and he this is like over a decade ago, and he had one of his neighbors who he purchased wine. Like, it was his job to fly across the world and like pick wine for several restaurants in Seattle. And so he brought these 2 bottles of wine, two of the same thing, and we all tried it. And I was thinking, wow, this I don't know what I expected, but it tasted like you sometimes you wear like thick socks that you exercise in and you sweat into the socks. It tasted like that. And I thought, like, he's had so much wine that he needs to have something crazy to like provoke interest in him that normal people couldn't deal with. So that's the way it is with drawing tablets. Like, you just get so like sensitized to small changes. Normal people will find most of the tablets I used to be fine, right? It's only when you start looking for problems then you might realize there are things to be found. Okay, I wonder, how would you rate this 2018 Cintiqs in the 2025 list? Oh gosh, I would put them. That's a fantastic question. Let's see if we can triangulate this. It's tough because their drawing experience with the pen is amazing. It's excellent, but the screens are old. So they've got like a really good thing and a kind of like dated thing. It's not like they were bad. It's just technology evolved really quickly when Wacom released, because their screens are kind of washed out and have a lot of parallax. And then everybody has, the next year or so, everyone has much less parallax and sort of much more colorful screens. So it's not like a defect or a flaw. Clearly, I would not put them in A category because everyone has a better screen. Okay. Now I think I'd not put them in D category because like the drawing experience is so great. So that leaves B and C. So let's take a look here. Where would I put the 2018 Cintiqs? I would put them in C. On balance. Let's try this way. If you really care about colors, I'd put them in C. If you don't care about colors as much, I'd put them in B. Okay? Does that make sense? Just because how washed out and how much parallax they have. Oh yeah, parallax is the other issue. If you don't care about parallax, then you might put them in B. But overall, I think C is probably fair. Okay. So yeah, final verdict is this. This is probably a great beginner tablet, which I would put in the. I'd probably put. Did I say C or B? I can't remember actually. Let's just say C for right now, since I can't remember what I just said a minute ago. Okay. I do like it. I do actually like it. But I do think as we start seeing more tablets like that use the Huion PW600 pen and the new X3 Pro pen, those are definitely better. Okay. Now we're going to try another tablet. Let me clip this, unclip that. Cable. C, I said C? Okay. So it's okay. It's an okay tablet. And okay tablets will work for a lot of uses. Like, there's no shame in being the okay bucket. Okay, let me move this keyboard out of the way. How much is it? That's a good question. How much is it? UGEE M908. 908. Amazon. $40. $40. Right? It'd be decent to get for $40. I wouldn't complain about it. Okay. Now, we have another tablet to talk about. Ooh. The UGEE U1600 pen display. The reason I forgot about this, I think I got this last year, but I've never opened it up, as you can tell, because the plastic is still untouched. Let's cut this open. I'm going to cut myself if I'm not careful. Yeah, with buttons and a dial. It's a good value. It really is a good value. Yeah, it is a good value. Sometimes I think we stress too much about specs, definitely. And sometimes I think we stress too much about like super high quality. And I think a lot of people would be surprised how well you could draw with even an okay tablet, honestly. I don't want people to think they always have to spend a lot of money. A medium size, sub $50 tablet, this is $40. It's not a bad deal. Okay, let's get the overhead view. Okay, so this is the UGEE U1600 pen display. Okay, actually kind of cool. I like this. I like this. Actually looks kind of cool. Okay, let's take a picture here. Yeah. Again, I like to make sure when I unbox something, I take pictures. Sometimes you just want to know, for reference, what was going on. Okay. Can't remember how much this costs, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. And I need a little bit of plastic here. Let me cut that away if I can find my scissors. That's a fair point, Nick. That's a fair point. You do want to know. I guess since I have a lot of tablets and I've used them for 3 decades, for me it's much easier to know by feel and by just looking. I think a normal person might have trouble. For example, take a look at force proportions. I have many people who've used tablets for decades, like 10 years. And they're like, they only discovered force proportions because of my video. And they always felt like they were fault. Like it was their problem. And actually, it was a wrong default on the driver, right? Okay, so I'm just going to take a picture of this. So this is big, so it's actually hard to take a photo with the right, what do you call it? Field of view. Even at 16, it just takes up so much space. Okay, lift this out. I'm going to keep it on to the side for just a minute before I do anything else. Just take a picture. We got a 3-in-1 cable. We got a pen. Got some plugs here. Got a pen. No, this is the power. I think it's the same pen, so I'm not gonna take out the pen, okay? So let me close this. Review the dude, I'm not gonna get a Bosto. Maybe one day I'll get a Bosto as a lark. But I so often tell people, do not get Boss Toe. Oh, there's a new tablet brand. There's a new tablet brand coming. Does everyone want to see it before we get into this? Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at this. This is like fresh. This is fresh news. Fresh news. Nothing's for sale quite yet, but let's take a look. Oops, I'm on the wrong computer. Okay. I'm not showing this to you now because I want it to be a little bit of a surprise. So a couple of people found this. Yeah, it's a new tablet brand. But remember, we don't know much about it. Turing. Let's find out. Where is it? Okay. I'm going to go to the website, then we'll show you. Okay. DigiDraw. Yes, Hanem. Yes, that's it. You got it. So let's show you. So I went to TuringDraw.com. Okay. I'm going to paste this in there. And you may see it has an older name like DigiDraw, but TuringDraw is the current name. Okay. So what do they have? Let's take a look at their products. Turing Pro 19. Actually, I like the fact they use the word Turing, by the way. It's like, Tesla. Turing. Turing tablet. This looks like to be their Pro series, small and medium. And Turing accessories. Now this looks to be this looks very similar to the Huion dial that comes with the new Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. Very similar looking. Let's see, about DigiDraw. Where was that? About DigiDraw. Oh, and they have a beginner series of tablets. Sometimes these photos, you don't know if they're AI or what. Company profile. Okay, look at this. Founded, I'm going to zoom in here. Founded in 2024, has nearly 100 employees. Headquarters is in, I'm not going to bother pronouncing it, Shenzhen. Building on years of scientific research. Well, Pleasant, I'm not sure. We don't know. Maybe we can figure that out by looking at this website. So it's they say they're foreign very new. Can we learn anything by looking at their tablets? Now, there was another tablet they just showed here. Oh, yeah, here it is. So they have this Turing Smart and Turing Basic. So let's take a look at the Turing Smart. By the way, none of these are for sale yet. So, supports Bluetooth, some capacitive buttons up here, right? It's a little weird because the buttons are so low. The active area is, by definition, got a huge bezel on top, right? So that's a little surprising. Yes, I think this is a Chinese brand. Shenzhen's in China. Well, hey no. Let's see if we can find information. I think it does seem somewhat Huion related. Let's download something. Let's take a look. First of all, nice font choice. The graphics do... Okay, here's the driver. We're going to take a look at the driver and see if this tells us anything. This reminds me of the Huion V20 driver, I think. Let's take a look. Very colorful. I do like the look, by the way. I like the orange. We're looking at screenshots. Maybe that'll teach us. This looks like the Huion driver, the way it does it. Let me show you. Let me give you an example so everyone sees what I'm saying here. If you go here and you go to rotate, rotating drawing. I'll show you why I show you this. This is Huion's V15 driver. What do you see? You see custom area. You see 4 numbers for the top, right, left, bottom, whatever. Then you see rotation angles. Okay. Now let's take a look here. You see rotation angles, and you see you're sort of seeing some similar things here. It's not exactly the same. It's not exactly. Of course, the V20 drivers look a bit different. Some of the icons look the same, Hanem says. Let's take a look. Yeah, this icon's the same. Looks similar. So there's a couple of possibilities. This could be this could, remember how Sense Labs came from UGEE, right? And they were like a higher end brand for UGEE. This could be a higher end brand for Huion. Who knows, right? I do love the name. Remember, Huion already has multiple brands. They have Gaomon, Huion, and Artisol. So it's not unusual that you see these companies have multiple brands. So let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, remember I told you this thing? Top, bottom, left, right. Take a look. Top, bottom, left, right. See? We're seeing commonalities here. So it could be that, or it could be, meaning it could be an offshoot of Huion. Could be, I don't know, maybe they hired the same people to build another driver. But I think, yeah, this definitely reminds me of Huion. Even I think this icon's the same. Just the layout here reminds me of Huion. Oh yeah, the V20 driver, by the way, had these menus, virtual keyboards. Alex says, I just bought the Canvas 13. Congratulations. Hanem says the name sounds deliberately global, like sense. It does. I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to have a name that's a little more global. And again, there's this thing about naming things after prominent, famous scientists. So Turing's a good choice. From the specs they gave, if it is Huion, then they use this. Yeah, I hope so. So we're gonna see. There's no prices listed anywhere. Oh, sorry. This is the Pro tablet. Take a look at their non-Pro tablet. First of all, this is wild. This is absolutely wild. Have you seen in your life ever such a design? Now, get this. It says DigiDraw. It actually has it as the logo here, and that's what it says here. But just ignore that for a second. Because it's supposed to be Turing Draw. Would it not be amazing to have a tablet that had some creativity and some opinion? And right? I love this. I hope they release this. I really do hope they release this. I'm not a fan of Digi. That's like Digimon or something, right? I Turing Draw. I'd even get rid of the draw, right? Turing. I love that. Jackie is saying, off topic, does the XP Pen's new X4 chip stylus work with older displays such as... I did test this, and the answer is It does not. It does not seem to work. Okay, unfortunately. I have this model. I was wondering if when the export for child. Yeah, it does not. I tried it. I could try it again, but I did not. I did not say. Plus, it does look like Deca Pro. It does. I don't know if there's any more pictures of this though. Nice. This is kind of like Sense Labs did this with their tablet. It looks good. Magic Pen 3.0. The M3 dual button digital pen features Magic. I'm fine with names like this. Magic Pen. M3. Okay, it even has the logo. I love seeing the logos. 300 reports per second. Wired connection. Interesting. 16K, don't care. I'm not a big fan of remotes. What's this? Full compatibility. Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, Harmony OS. What is that? You've seen that before, Nick, with plastic with printing? I've not seen it. I don't know what the hell is Harmony OS. Never seen it. Harmony OS is Huawei's distributed operating system for various smart devices. Interesting. What does this tell us? What does this tell us? I mean, what can we infer from the statement? That, meaning, what does it tell us about their business? Right? Do you think there's some kind of partnership with Huawei? And someone mentioned about a semi-transparent pen chip. Where did we see that? Oh, I see. I did not notice that. That's a good point. Who else had a semi-transparent pen chip? It was like a MatePad or something, right? PH01 pen holder. So it's interesting. They list two tablets here. They don't list that beginner tablet. So there's no store yet. There's no place to buy this. I kind of think it's cool they're starting out with a 19-inch also. Skipping 13 and 16, just going right up to 19. 19 seems to be a really perfect size. I like this. I just don't know what to deal with this. Sorry, let me go back. This bezel. Like the buttons seem like they're too low down on the tablet. The M Pencil has transparent tips. Let's take a look at the display. Is there anything we can just learn from it? 10 TD Color Master, 14K, 4K. Okay, that's good. %96% Adobe RGB. 10-bit color with FRC, I think. It's got legs. That's cool. Oh, here we go. 99.8 sRGB, 96 Adobe, 98 Display P3. So I think it's targeting professional market. Based on we tend to see these kind of color things, color gamuts with pro tablets. Yeah, Hainam, you're right. Now that you say it. Similar strategy to Sense Labs starting from the high end. Is this bird symbolic? Is this like a phoenix? Is that something we should take away from? It's quite nice looking. Delta E less than 1. I think that's supposed to be good. I think less than 2 is supposed to be good. And this is even better. Some kind of color matching. Don't know what that means. Paper-like 3.0 technology. Full laminate display with AG nano etched. Everyone likes saying nano etching thanks to Apple. 14.7 millimeters. That is thin, right? How much is 14 centimeters? Or 15 centimeters? Sorry, millimeters. My mistake. Yeah, that's pretty thin. 15 millimeters. I mean, not moving. This button even reminds me of Huion. This textured button, honestly. Supports. Let's take a look at FAQ real quick. Interesting stand, by the way. Okay, they have an X thing. Let's see. One following, 23 followers. Okay. I'm gonna follow them. December 9th. So how many tweets? They only have a couple of tweets, it seems like. December 9th. This is the pen tablet. December 6th, December 2nd. Wait a second. They have an Amazon link. Turing Direct. Visit the Turing Direct storefront. What? No way. You mean I might be able to order this? These are the small ones. This is the medium one. Brand Digidraw. Okay, so they don't have the branding there yet. So like they're kind of in the midst of releasing right now. You know what? I'm gonna order one of these after the stream. I'll get the this one, this T610. This should be the medium-sized one. Let's see. Yeah, you're right, Hainem. These aren't high-end price. Now this looks like the consumer level one. So this is one thing I'm curious about. What is the difference between these two tablets? Is the only difference that this has those buttons on top, right? Is that the difference? Okay. Let's see. I've never even visited. What is Shopee? Okay, I guess you have to log in. Okay. By the way, I don't know this new Chrome thing. You're prepared for a shopping live stream? Who knows? One day, maybe. I'll do it. Price is decent. Fluzzing, you're right. Look at this. Come on. Fake reviews. As described. As described. Let's click this again. Yeah, they just have these three. And they have a glove. Yeah, there was a link on their to Shopee. I don't know what Shopee is. Shopee.ph. Does anyone know what Shopee is? PH gotta be Philippines, right? Because it ain't Poland. That's PL. November 13th, November 11th. I'm gonna put their Twitter thing in chat, just so everyone sees it. We want the link. Magic Pen 3.0. So look at this. These tweets have been going on since October. It's Asian Amazon. Says, hey, no. Okay, look at this. It's DigiDraw. Oh, they haven't done the branding change yet. First of all, this has been going on for a while. Okay, their first post was their logo on October 13th. Okay? Kind of cool logo, but I like the bold color, honestly. Let's take a look at their Instagram. I don't have an account, though. Let me click this. Is there any more? Well, I'm just spying. I'm just spying for information now. Nothing obvious going on here. Yeah, so it looks like we're early to the birth of a new brand. This is interesting. The logo is cool. It's like a pen that's drawing an eye in a spiral. It's kind of cool. But I do like Turing Draw better than DigiDraw. That is definitely it's a Chinese brand, at least. Ghost Monkey says French. I gotta be right. The PH has gotta be Philippines. Okay, let's get back to the tablet. That's what we're really here for, right? Okay. So, let me get this keyboard out of the way. And let's start taking a look. Again, I'm trying to take photos now so that everyone can see. I have some record of what was going on. There's two tags here, by the way. There's this red thing. It says step 2. Where the hell is step 1? There's no step 1 anywhere. Whatever. Okay, I guess I do this. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's that. And then I get that out here. It looks a little glossy. That's because there's another covering here, I think. Yeah, there's another film. So there was a protective film, and then, okay, let me make sure you see what's going on here. There's another film here. You lift this white label. Okay, so I'm gonna take a photo of that because it's always a source of confusion with people. Okay, oops, that fell back down, okay. There's two films. Put this over here. Okay, and I'm gonna get something. Step 1, take it out of the box. Okay, got my Parblo stand, highly reliable stand. I'm gonna put it here, okay? Now, Notice the ports are recessed, okay? They're in a little well. Let me take a photo, because you know how important it is to take a photo of these darn ports. On the back, there's no VESA mounting, so there's no holes there. Expected 16-inch pen displays tend not to have that. Let's see. Now I'm just gonna see now because these are recessed. Sometimes these things just don't fit. So we're gonna see if this works. Okay, this cable will not fit. Okay, that's problem number one. Let's take a look at the box. I hate to do. I know I'm gonna be real upset in a few seconds because I'm gonna have to dig out a cable that works from somebody, from somewhere. And I'm sure, I just want a USB-C cable, right? But I'm gonna have to find one that fits. They have a 3-in-1 cable, okay? Which obviously will work, but I can't use that 3-in-1 cable because I've got my HDMI ports already used up. What are my options? Okay, I'm gonna have to find I'm gonna have to find something to do this. So give me a moment. I need to go. Wait a second. I think I have an answer here. Okay. I think I have an answer. This may or may not work, so give me a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go off just for a second. Okay, I have a little USB to HDMI adapter for my iPad or Mac, and I plugged it in, and I think that's gonna let me use this 3-in-1 cable, okay? And we gotta figure out how to get power, but I think I won't have too much of a problem. Take it out of the box. Okay, let's see. It's HDMI here. I hate 3-in-1 cables so bad. Unfortunately, it's the. I'd rather just have separate cables, honestly. I know that sucks, but like, I'd prefer to having proprietary 3-in-1 cables. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I have to reach over this. That is that. This is for data. Oof, sorry. Ow. Okay, this is for power. Let's hope this works. Okay. And let me give you the overhead view. And let's see. Okay, the one on the right says it's designed for the 3-in-1 cable, so I'll use it. I heard some beeping. But nothing. Let me click the on button on the left side. UGEE. Oh, I saw UGEE appear. Whoa. Okay, so things are working. Things are working. Okay, Nick. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Let me check my. 1 second. Just want to verify something. Okay. 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 We'll take a quick test of this thing. And does the same pen work? Yes. The pen that came with the M908 works here. So I'm not gonna get the pen out. So it's kind of everything's working. You can see that I'm clicking on the tablet, but it's opening the screen up there. So what will probably be helpful would be to mirror the screens so that you see what's happening. How can I show desktop? I guess I'm gonna have to use the keyboard for this one. Well, this turned out to be a more exciting stream than I planned. We discovered a new tablet brand. We found out we can buy their tablets. This ought to be interesting. Okay, display settings. I want to duplicate on 1 and 3. Okay, this should give me everything I need. Keep changes. Now you see, it's actually doing the right thing. Right? A little bit of delay between what you're seeing here and what you're seeing here, but you get the idea. Okay. I'm gonna move this a little bit further from me. And maybe I'll change the camera. I just need a little extra space with the keyboard. And you know what? I'm gonna zoom in. That way you don't feel like I'm not showing you things. Okay, let's just go up to Krita and let's just try drawing, okay? So let's hit delete and let's just see. Now this is, let's go ahead and reset everything. And I'm gonna do my first test, which is just like a big brush with a linear pressure curve. And what happens? Oops, Control C, okay. Okay, the first thing is, this pen, the same pen on the other tablet had a really low IAF. But here, it feels like it has a high IAF. Okay? And the strokes are absolutely horrible. Worse than, look at this. Now, this is normal when you draw with very low pressure, but it just feels like it has a high IAF, and I cannot explain that. Don't worry about these ugly strokes. That's that low artifact pressure thing, which lots of tablets have, but I don't think I should be experiencing it, honestly. Oof. Lots of pulsing. Let's take a look at the UGEE. Not happy with it right now. Let's take a look at the pressure inside, okay? So I'm going to clear this and draw. It's better in here. Looks like it could be some smoothing maybe, or something else. Now again, it does feel like the IAF is actually higher here than on the other tablet. Don't know what explains that. That was a lot of blobs, right, Pleasing? Pressures, I cannot explain it. The pressure is harder to control than on the other tablet, the other UGEE. Like in the other UGEE, let me show you the screen, okay? In the other UGEE, I know you can't see me draw, but you can see my mouse. I was able to press light enough to hit every letter in the word current. Okay, I'm gonna try the same thing here. Watch this. It is super hard for you to get to C and stay at C. I'm trying to get to that first R and stay there. It is harder. It is harder. Now, that's okay. Maybe we want to, does a pressure curve affect things? Let's see. Yeah, the pressure curve helps a lot, I think. Maybe even more is what I need. Let's see what happens, okay? Oops. Still some weirdness, honestly. See that pulsing? Ugh, nasty. Not liking this. Now this again, this is a tough test, so let's do a more normal brush of 50 pixels. Will someone actually notice this problem? Yeah, I'm gonna get a good idea. Oh, Hammer, I am gonna do that in just a second. Yeah, if you switch to a smaller brush, you don't get this kind of stuff. But again, I do these tough tests to see what's going on. Okay, so I think Hohammer's got the right thing. We should always, before I do that, let me put this yellow tape on the old pen so I know which pen it is, okay? Otherwise, I'm gonna get these two confused. Yellow tape on this pen. Okay. So if you see me hold a yellow pen, that's the old pen. Let's find the new pen. The new pen, by the way, looks exactly like the old pen. Okay? And I gotta get this... Let me reset the curve here. Okay. Double check the curve here. Yep, all good. Now let's try drawing. This is with a 37 pixel brush. The IF is still higher than I'd expect. Okay, I'm gonna do my crazy test at like 300, okay? Again, rough test. Still seeing the blobbing. The way we address this, I'm gonna do the pressure curve here. And I'm gonna turn on some pressure smoothing. Weighted, 200. Backspace, oops, delete. With a little bit of weighted smoothing, things are better. Ooh. Again, tough test. If I'm drawing with normal lines, like, again, if you're drawing with line art with 50 pixels, then the strokes will look fine. Strokes look fine. But with both tablets, you're gonna, oh shoot, you can't see what I'm seeing. I'm sorry. Let me just explain what I did. I set in the pressure curve here, okay, right here. And then I turned on the weighted smoothing, okay. And I set the brush size, was it 44? So if your brushes aren't big, you're not gonna notice weird problems. Maybe you might notice a little bit. If you're using super small brushes, not super small, like I draw a lot with like a 5 pixel thing. You probably won't notice anything at all. Everything will just look fine. And that's typical. Even if I turn off the smoothing, I'll bet you things will look actually pretty good. Yeah. And that's because, you know, with only 5 different sizes, this kind of weird variation in size does not affect. Or weird variation pressure doesn't affect things too badly. So this will be okay for a lot of people. Okay, this will be okay. I'm going to do my diagonal line test, which you'll be able to see in a second. So I need ink 3 fine liner for this one. And I need turn off size, turn off, rotate. Oh, sorry, I picked the wrong pen. Where's the ink 3 fine liner? There it is. Turn off size, turn off strength. Leave it at 5 pixels. Let's take a look. Slow, 1/1000, 2/1000. A little bit of wobble. I think you can see it, right? More wobble than the other tablet, for sure. Now draw it faster. I'd like to see wobble disappear at this speed. And now even faster, 1 second. Okay, much of it's gone by the fast stroke, but I'm just seeing too much here. I don't like to see this. Let's see what it takes to get rid of it. We'll do weighted. Probably it's going to be 200. It's a pretty typical value to get rid of it. Let's try it again. Did 200 get rid of it? It got rid of a lot, but I think I'm gonna have to bring it up to even like, I don't know. Let me type in a number here. Oops. Hang on. $300. Okay, and then at 300, things are looking fine-ish. Maybe 400 is necessary. Or 350. Let's try 350. I think I may have to go all the way to 400. I did 425, so that's good enough. It's close enough. I think I needed 400 for this. Right now, I think I'd place this in the C category as well. I'm having to use a little extra smoothing to make it work. The IF does not seem as good. I don't know what would explain that, honestly. Okay, this would probably work for a beginner, right? I think a lot of people would be actually fine. I'm going to turn off all the smoothing. I'm just going to draw, right? I'm just going to draw and to see how I feel. Like I'll draw with normal size strokes, no smoothing. Everyone knows that I'm drawing, right? I would absolutely be able to draw with this fine. I think it definitely deserves a C tier ranking. Absolutely, I would say this is a C tier tablet. Not great, has some flaws. If you're used to a Cintiq or something, you're gonna be like, you want to expect it better. Most of the flaws seem controllable through pressure curves and pressure smoothing. Parallax. Let's take a look at parallax. I'm gonna put this near my eyes to see this. Parallax is actually pretty good. That is weird. What about tilt compensation? Minimal deflection to the left. Maybe less than a millimeter. Yeah, I think it's fine. Tilt compensation probably. It's okay. It's okay. I think Wacom is better, but this is okay. I don't think people will be complaining about it. That's what I'm trying to get at. Viewing angles, they're fine. No color shift, just the normal kind of like things get a little less. It's harder to see at these crazy angles. And these are crazy angles, so viewing angles look fine. Yeah, surface texture. I got my moving somewhere here. Let me, yeah, 1 second. Let me just compare the two. I'll use the same pen on both. Very different kinds of surface texture. You may see me putting my finger on the screen, and that's because I'm rubbing the screen like this. Yeah, there's like some kind of residue, maybe from the protective film that was on top of it, and so I can kind of feel that texture in certain places. So I'm rubbing it off. I mean, at least that's what I think is happening here. Okay, this is not got a lot of texture, even for a pen display, but it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel like drawings on just normal glass, right? So it's not slippery like an iPad. It doesn't have nano texture. But I think if you're used to Cintiq, you would probably think, hey, this is definitely less texture than you're used to. Okay, let me just take a quick look at my notes to see if there's anything else I want to talk about here. Yeah, this is okay. I think both of these tablets are decent beginner tablets. Probably a decent value. If you're really into hardcore things, I think you're going to be wanting to spend more and get, you know, a different tablet. How much is this? This is UGEE. What was it? Sorry. 1600. This is 1600. I didn't spell UGEE correctly. Let's see. When do they start getting good? That's a good question. You know, we can actually figure this out. Hang on a second. We can absolutely figure this out. We'll take a look at this history of Wacom pen tablets. So we're going to work backwards. This is actually good. I would say people love this. This wasn't great, but people like this. Don't know about this one. I don't think these were great. The Cintiq 21 UX was not great. Okay, so based on this, I would say Wacom pen displays started getting good in 2018. I mean, when I say good, what I'm saying is, if looking backwards through a modern lens of what we have today, probably something like the Cintiq Pro 24 is the one I would think that first gives you what we would consider to be a relatively good experience, right? Now, that doesn't mean everything in this timeline was great. So, for example, the Cintiq Pro 24 is good, but the Cintiq 1622, which are released later, are not as good. So I think the start is probably here. If I look earlier, I'm not sure that these were good, okay? But so 2018 is probably when they started. Okay, so it's about 2 a.m. now. I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream. We've been going about 3 hours. Overall takeaways. Good value for the money. Would make good for beginner tablets. We didn't look at the price though. So let's just do that as well. We'll get back to Amazon. No ordinary dog. Okay. Amazon. I'm going to the wrong place. There we go. That's not the tablet. UGEE. Let me just try this. This is so silly. Okay, maybe I just have to go to the UGEE site and figure out the cost. Drawing monitor. It's the UE16. No, I got the U1600. Is that it? Yeah, U1600. This was $180. I think for $180, you get a pretty good value for. 16 inches HD resolution. Now let me check on Amazon since we do know now. UGEE U1600. They still don't list it here for some strange reason. That's weird. Yeah, decent tablet. I would again recommend that if one's gonna get a UGEE tablet like these two, make sure you know a lot of people with one in case you ever need help. While we're here though, I want to do one more thing, which is how much the pens cost to replace. The pens. Is this the pen? I think it is. Oh, there's different pens here. Okay. This pen is $25. So cheap pen. I mean, comparatively speaking. Okay, that's good. Wacom Pro Pen 2 is like $80. Wacom Pro Pen 3, $130. Yeah. I think as long as you know what you're getting into, but if you use a better tablet, you might notice you're having to struggle to get the same kind of line quality, right? There's still more investigation I need to do in terms of why I saw weird little artifacts in some of the strokes. Was that a Krita thing? Was that a Windows Ink thing? Why didn't I see the pressure banding in different tests? Little confusing for me, but we'll see. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna get to sleep. Have a great night, and I'll be streaming again soon. Bye.